In this lesson, the target states, I can find the surface area of prisms and cylinders. In a previous lesson, you found the volume of a prism and you found the volume of a cylinder, the total amount of space inside the object. In this lesson, we're doing something different. We're finding the total area of all its surfaces. So this cube has 6 faces. You can count them. 4, 5, 6. So if I unfold the cube, I look at it as a net. If I think about it like this, I can find the area of one of the faces. If it's got sides of 4, then it's 4 times 4 to find the area of one of the faces, or 16. And I would need to multiply that times 6, because there's 6 faces on this cube, and I would get 96. So if it was inches, it would be 96 square inches. Total surface area of this cube. If I look at a cylinder, it's a little more complicated because I have circles. But if I unfolded the cylinder, I'd get this net. This net's made up of 2 circles and a rectangle. So to find the area of a cylinder, I find the area of one of the circles, and I multiply it times 2 because there's 2 of them, and then I find the area of the whole body of the cylinder, which is a little more complicated than finding the area of a cube or a prism. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but I think you have the idea. Let's take a look at this example. This is a prism. It's a rectangular prism, and we could find the area of each of the surfaces and add them all up. We could also do something a little simpler than that, because we could see that the surface right here is 10 inches wide and 5 inches tall. I could find the area of this surface, and I could double it because there's another one on the back. So I could do 10 times 5 to find the area of that one surface and double it because there's 2 of them. I could do the same thing for this surface, and there's 2 of them. So this is 4 inches wide and 5 inches tall, so it's 4 times 5 times 2. Next I could do the top and the bottom. So the top and the bottom are here and here. It's to find the area of this rectangle, it would be 10 times 4. But I have to multiply it by 2 because there's 2 of them. So I could find the area of each surface individually and add them all up. I could find the area of each surface and double it because it's a rectangular prism, and then I could add it all up. So if I did all these calculations, I'd get 100 plus 40 plus 80. If I add all those up, I get 220. So by this method, I got 220 square inches. But there's another way to do this. And if you look at what we did more algebraically, you could simplify the expression you got and get a more straightforward formula, where S is the total surface area, B is the base area, and I'd have to double it because it's 2 times the base area. P is the perimeter of the base, so I'd have to add up all the lengths of the perimeter, all the lengths of the base sides to find the perimeter of the base, and H is the height. So let's just try this. If I try this formula, S equals 2 times the base area, so 2 times 10 times 4 for the base area. The perimeter, I'm going to add the perimeter times the height. The perimeter is 10 and 10, 4 and 4. The perimeter is the total distance around this prism. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 4 is 28. So it's 28 times the height. And the height of this prism is 5 times 5. So if I solve this, 10 times 4 is 40, times 2 is 80, plus 28 times 5, 20 times 5 is 100, 8 times 5 is 40, that's 140. 80 plus 140 is 220. 220 square inches. So the total surface area of this prism is 220 square inches. And for the rest of this lesson, we're going to try to keep using this formula, or the formula for the area of a cylinder. But just so you know, you can solve it in a different way. There are a lot of ways to solve these problems. Let's try another example. Here we have another prism. We need to find the surface area of the prism. But you'll notice this prism is not rectangular, it's triangular. One of the faces is a triangle. So we need to find the area of the base of this prism. But this is a triangle. It's a triangle that's 8 units wide, or 8 feet wide, and 3 feet tall. I can see that right here. So there's my two triangles that form those edges of this prism. So to find the area of this triangle, I have to do the base times the height, but then divide it by 2, because it's a triangle. So it's 1/2 times 3 times 8. So I'm going to start plugging that in the formula. Total surface area of this prism is 2 times 1/2 times 3 times 8. I'm going to solve this because I'm running out of space. So 3 times 8 is 24. 1/2 of that is 12, and 2 times that is 24. So we're back up to 24. So now I have to add to that the perimeter of the base. To find the perimeter of the base, I'm going to add up all the sides of the base. So it's 8 plus 5 plus 5, or 18. So the perimeter of the triangle is 18 times the height, and it's 7 feet tall. So I found the area of the two triangular faces to be 24. Now I'm finding the perimeter and multiplying it by the height to find the lateral area. The lateral area is the area of all the stuff between the two faces. 7 times 8 is 70 plus 56, which is 126. So it's 24 plus 126. 24 plus 126 is 130 plus 20, 150. So the total surface area of this triangular prism would be 150 square feet. Okay, at this point, that still might be a little bit hard to understand, but we're going to keep working on it. We have to first a cylinder. To find the surface area of a cylinder, it's a little different because pi is involved. We have to find the area of the two circular faces of the cylinder, and then find the lateral area of the part in between those two faces. So remember, to find the area of a circle, you do pi r squared. So if we wanted to find the area of one of these circles, we would do pi r squared. Pi r squared would give us the amount of space inside one of the circles, but then I'd have to double it because there's two of them. So that's where this comes from. Pi r squared, double it, so multiply it times 2. And for pi, we're just going to use 3.14. Now I have to find the area of the lateral part of this, the part that goes up. Remember, it's still round. It's not flat. It's not rectangular. So pi is still involved. So we multiply pi times r times h, and we double that. The height is involved in this one. So pi is still 3.14, and the radius is half the distance across the circle, and h is the height of the cylinder. So the surface area, S, of a cylinder is twice the base area, B, plus the lateral area, L. The lateral area is the base circumference, 2 pi r, times the height, h. Let's try it. I have an example. So here's a cylinder. It's 14 inches tall, its height is 14, and its radius is 7. So you're going to try to find the area of one of the faces of the 2 times pi times 7 squared would give me the total surface area of the two faces. I'm going to add to that 2 times pi times the radius 7 times the height 14. I'm running out of room, so I might move it over a little bit. So let's start solving. 2 times pi times 7 squared, so it's 2 times 3.14 times 7 squared. 7 squared is 49. 3.14 times 49 times 2. I'm going to use a calculator here. And I came up with 307.7. For the area of both of the circular faces of the cylinder. Now I'm going to solve the other side of this and add it 2 times pi times 7 times 14. Again, I'm going to use my calculator. 2 times 3.14 times 7 times 14 is 615.4. So 307.7 plus 615.4 is 923. So the total surface area of this cylinder is about 923 square inches. Hopefully you took good notes on the formulas, because you should use those notes for the U-Try. Click pause and try these two problems in your notebook. Challenge yourself to use your notes to remember the steps and show your work. For number 1, you could use the formula. You might try using the other strategy though, where you find the area of each of the surfaces and add it up. But the formula was S equals 2b plus p, the perimeter, of the base times the height. For a circle, the formula was S equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So if you go back through your notes and figure out what each part means and how to use it, you can find the surface area of each of these prisms. Click pause and try these two problems. Good luck. Okay, for number 1, the surface area of this rectangular prism. So I'm going to use the formula 2 times the base area. The base area is going to be 9 times 7. To find the area of one of the bases, I do 9 times 7, and I have to double it because there's two of them. There's the bottom one and there's the top one. So I'd be finding the area of both of the surfaces that are the base. The base is the bottom and the top. That was 2 times 9 times 7. To find the perimeter, I'm going to add up all the sides of the base. So 9 plus 7 plus 9 plus 7. So it's 2 times 9 plus. So the perimeter was 32 and the height was 5. It's 5 units tall. So 32 times 5 would give me the lateral area. So it's 2 times 9 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63 times 2 plus 32 times 5, which is 150 plus 10, 160. 2 times 63 is 120 plus 6. So it's 126 plus 160, which is going to be 286 square feet. So number one, the total surface area of this prism is 286 square feet. Okay, number two, it's a cylinder. So we have to find the area of one of the circular faces and double it because there's two of them. That's where pi r squared comes in. So it's 2 times, we're just going to use 3.14 for pi, just like before. The radius is 3. 2 times 3.14 times 3 squared. I'm going to go ahead and just solve this side of it because I'm going to run out of room on the right. So 3 squared is 9, and 9 times 3.14 is, using the calculator, 28.26. 28.26 times 2 is 56.5, or 56.52. I'm going to add to that 2 pi r h. So I'm going to do 2 pi times 3 times the height, and the height is 10. So again, I'm going to use the calculator. 2 times 3.14 times 3 times 10 is 188.4. So if I add these two together, 56.52, I got 244.9. That would be square meters. It's area, so remember to use square units. So the total surface area of this cylinder was 244.9 square meters. How'd you do?